What's going on, people? What's going on? What's going on? Dana here, coming from the cage. It's going to be a conversation from the cage. I actually made a short last week talking about the 883 coming back. We're going to talk about that in this video. We're going to get into it. But first, Mr. Editor Man, roll the intro. All right. Now that we got the intro out of the way, I made it made a post last week on this page about how I was going to make a long form video to go along with the short about the 883 EVO Sportster making a comeback. It's kind of confusing. It's exciting because Sportsters are my thing. I like Sportsters. I've ridden Sportsters. I like Sportsters. I like Dynas. I think I've said it in a previous video that my favorite ones that I'm always going to be partial to is Sportsters and Dynas. Both of which Harley really screwed the pooch on. You know what I'm saying? The Dynas had only been around since the 90s. But I was pretty irritated when they had gotten rid of the Dynas. I was kind of excited when they maintained some of the most iconic models and just rolled them into the Softails. I was really irritated when the Dyna just itself, the Dyna frame, the Dyna family of bikes went away. Same deal with the Sportsters. Sportster, look up the history. You know, I don't need to get into it here. I don't want to make this extremely long, but I just want to kind of banter and talk with you guys about this exciting thing, that change that I think Harley is making, that I think is going to make some big waves, because a lot of things went sideways when this thing was changed originally. But you know, the Sportsters have been around since 1954 or 57. I don't know. It's mid to late 50s since the Sportster's been around. And everybody's like, oh, the Sportster, the Sportster S, the Sportster S, the Sportster S, the Nystr. Those aren't Sportsters. They're not. Sorry. I was very excited for the Sportster S, and I was very excited to see maybe something that was going to faithfully carry on the family name, right? And it looks good. It's the Bronx, whether you guys want to believe it or not. That's the Bronx. You're not getting the Bronx. The Bronx is the Sportster S, right? They're not going to attach a brand new name to a brand new motorcycle. They wanted to attach a name badge, a namesake to it that has legs, decades of life in the Harley realm, right? So they attach it to that and hope it takes off. And honestly, all it did was really crap, in my opinion. This is my opinion, right? And we are all entitled to our opinion, but in my opinion, all it did was crap all over what the Bronx could have been, and completely poo-poo and crap all over the Sportster family name, right? So they end up, you know, just to kind of give you a little backstory, everybody should know the backstory by now, that they discontinued the EVO Sportster in 2022, citing that it would not pass Euro 5 emissions. I don't really care. You know, I guess maybe with Euro 5, all of their bikes maybe that's the thing. The whole fleet has to be, and then that wasn't part of it. I don't know. Sell them here, and who cares if Europe buys them? But you know. And I know that sounds a little harsh, but like, dude, why do I have to suffer because my bike won't pass Euro 5 emissions? I'm not European. But let's not get off topic, right? Let's get back on the topic here. I did say that I was going to speak on the 883 coming back. Why, in my opinion, it's only the 883, and what I think this bike could be and may be, right? Okay, so the 883 coming back. Everybody knows that we've had a CEO change at Harley. No, I say as the Harley purchasers, the Harley family, right? We've had a CEO change. Jochen Zeitz, the German guy from Puma originally, who ran the company into the ground, right? Trying to make a premium brand, and it is a premium brand. In my opinion, I love my Harleys. But it's always been a working man's brand, right? You know, I mean, AMF tried running away, headlong away from these 1% clubs in the 60s and 50s and 60s and 70s. And then AMF really tried to get away from it. And then when Willie G and everybody, the company bought it back over, some of that came back. And then some of it, they just wanted to be more family friendly. Where you know the story. So Jochen Zeitz, just wanting to look forward, right? He wanted to be net zero. He was a net zero guy. He wanted to be all electric, right? He was open about this. And every time he would speak his mouth, every time he would open his mouth and speak anything, it was not good for shareholders. It was not good for stock. It was not good for Harley owners. This happened. This axing of this iconic family of motorcycles happened under his tenure. Okay, it won't meet Euro 5. Cool. I guess. I guess I get it. I guess I understand. Maybe, right? And then come to find out through a backdoor sweetheart deal that the company sold the rights to and a lot of the machinery and supposedly, right? And the rights to the designs and all to a Chinese motorcycle company. Really? A Chinese motorcycle company. Okay. Well, that's a double kick to the groin, right? That's like, okay, you got rid of a bike that, I mean, the Dyna and the Sportster are the reason why I would buy a brand new Harley. Honestly, well, the Dyna's gone, you know, and now the Sportster. And then I come to find out you sell it to the people that will just rip it off anyways, right? So was it an injection of cash thing, or was it you just didn't care? We're not going to use this anymore. Get rid of it. Sell it. Right? I'm a little opinionated. I'm still a little sticky about all this. But then, okay, so then we find out we're floating along. We got the Sportster S. We got the Pan America. We got the Nightster, which is a hybrid Dyna / Sportster adjacent something on its own, right? I think this water-cooled family of motorcycles should have been completely a new family of bikes and leave all the other ones alone. I digress in that situation. But I'd heard burblings. I had seen posts. I follow the XL forum. I've followed them for quite a while. And I'd heard burblings about, the 883 is coming back. And when I'd go searching, or when I'd go and ask in the forum, or when I would read the thread, it was always just looked at as, that's rumor. It's gone. It's rumor. It's not going to happen, right? Well, then last week, the day I put my short up, I think it was, Artie Starr is the new CEO, right? Basically confirms it. 2027 model year, the 883 EVO Sportster is coming back, right? And it meets Euro 5 emissions. Now, this can go in a couple of different directions. I'm going to give you first the reason why I think it's only the 883. I've looked up pictures when we found out that the motor company sold the Sportster, a lot of the Sportster stuff to this Chinese motorcycle company, which also owns an Italian motorcycle company. I go looking at these bikes, right? They're Sportsters, all right? Every single picture of every one of these Chinese and Italian motorcycles that I can find of prototypes and things that they may have already started to release, every single one, I could be wrong, there may be another one floating around that I couldn't find, are 1200s. All of them, right? I don't know what the Chinese name of the motorcycle is. Can't remember what the Italian name of the motorcycle is. It's all over Google. Just go look it up. It's not hard to find. But every single picture and every single article I can read about, and then I can find and read about, they're all 1200 motorcycles, right? All of a sudden, Harley comes back out. We are re-releasing the EVO 883. All right? Now, what does this mean, right? Did Harley not sell everything to this company? Did they give them just the rights to the 1200cc model? Or If it was it just an agreement that if we decide to relaunch this motorcycle, that we'll take the 883, you guys keep the 1200? Who knows, right? And time will tell, right? Second point, when it comes to this, Harley, do this right. Do this right. We don't want a private labeled Chinese clone. Okay? I don't want a Chinese made motorcycle with a Harley badge on it that you're going to put. I'm sitting in a parking lot, guys. There's people everywhere. You know how awkward it is trying to come at you from the cage. But so we don't want a private labeled Chinese or Italian motorcycle. I don't want that. Now, in the grand scheme of things, I'll take what I can get, because they said this motorcycle is supposed to come in at the original price of the iron was $9,000-$10,000. Cool. I hope it's that. That'd be awesome, man. Don't just give us scraps. You know, give us what we're asking for, right? According to the articles I've seen, they're supposed to be assembled, built, made, whatever you want to call it. Y'all fight over that in the comments. In the York, Pennsylvania plant, which is where the Sportsters were made originally anyways. So it's almost like we're getting back to business as usual. I suspect, just like every other Harley, just like your big twins that you're riding right now, it's going to be a conglomeration of things made here and around the world, just like the big twins are. And I have a feeling that the reason why it's only the 883 coming back is two things. One, I think that's what Harley can build. I think everything else was sold to that Chinese and motorcycle company. And two, I don't think they want the 1200 competing with some of the other motorcycles that they want to start selling more of. I don't think they want a Sportster that's air-cooled, an EVO Sportster that's air-cooled, making 60, 70 horsepower, And that's not a dig on the 883. That's what I ride. And it's a sweetheart. Very cool bike. But I think they want to have a separate complete class. Once again, here we go with the beginner crap. It's going to be the entry. Well, I think they're now calling it an entry level. I don't think they're calling it a beginner bike. I think they're trying to get away from that stigma, right? But they're calling it an entry level bike, which $10,000. I mean, I can see that. And it's supposed to be just a blank canvas. Build it the way you want to build it. That's the way the Sportster's always been. I don't mind that it's cheap. A lot of people are like, it doesn't hold its resale. I don't care. I buy it to build it the way I want to build it, and I'm going to be as much into that as you're going to pay for your Dyna up front with no upgrades. I'm not going to get it back out of it, but most of the bikes that I have, I don't sell. I mean, I trade things and I swap, and I have I eventually have a stable like that'll have several in there, right? But that's my take on it. 883's back. I'm going to try and interject a good. I was going to do in the long form. I was going to do it from the bench at home at the shop, and I was going to interject some pictures. We don't need to do that. This is just banter and conversation. So hey, tell me your guys' thoughts on it. What do you think? What do you theorize may be? Was it going to be just what they call a private labeled motorcycle? In other words, built by this Chinese company or this Italian company and just have a Harley badge on it, and this is what we have to deal with? Or do you think that it's going to be the real deal, just back to business? Maybe there will be another 1200. I was totally on par with to let the Sportster mature, just like it did from the Ironhead days to the EVO days. There's Milwaukee 8 and the Big Twin. Well, let's see a Milwaukee 8 Sportster motor. It never came. It just kind of went away. I wouldn't mind seeing a gigantic Sportster, like a Dyna frame with an oversized, like a giant, like Big Twin type Sportster type setup. I don't know, man. Artie Starrs seems to have his head screwed on straight. I mean, everybody was like, oh, it's another guy that's not a biker, blah, 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 blah. You know, well, here's the deal. I'm going to end with this. It needed to go two ways. The new CEO either needed to be a nasty, dirty-thumbed 1% biker guy that had his head screwed on straight business-wise, or a CEO like the old fat cats in the music industry back in the 60s and 70s that were like pretty much apolitical. It's like, I'm here to make money. I'm in charge of this company. I don't know what this is. They say they want it. Put it out. Let's see what happens. And that's option two is what Artie Starrs is. He may be a bike guy. I don't know. I don't really know much about the guy. But I do know that so far it seems like he's got his head screwed on straight and he's listening to what people do and what people want and what people say. Just like Willie G did. Willie G and the family, when they bought the company back from AMF, they went to bike shows. They went to the Black Hills. They went to Sturgis. They went to Daytona Bike Week. And typically speaking, Willie G would be riding a new motorcycle that wasn't released yet to see what people said about it. It'd be kind of cool if Artie Starrs and the company started to do that again. They started to do it somewhat with that, the throwback to the XL CR on the new platform. And it's a sweet looking bike. And it's the only RevMax platform that I actually would consider maybe purchasing, because it's a totally different thing. It's like a Sportster with a brand new motor that just sounds, that everybody that knows me knows my opinion on those motors. It could make 700 horsepower and I wouldn't care because it sounds off. It doesn't sound like a Harley. Maybe it's the way that it revs. Maybe it's because it revs so high. To me, it just sounds like a Ducati. It sounds like a European motorcycle. It sounds like, when it first came out, I said it sounded like a Temu Ducati, because it sounds, even the Ducati sounds pleasant to my ears at some point. I'm trying to love it. I know that RevMax is here to stay, at least for a while, and I'm trying to learn to love it, right? I mean, the only thing that really kills me is the exhaust note and the way that the engine just sounds ratty, right? But I'm going to get off here. We're at 16 minutes already. I don't want to be talking too much from the cage. I don't want it to be 20, 25 minutes. But I did want to discuss this because I've had a couple of comments and whatever about the short that I put up. Just my thoughts on it. It's supposed to be 2027. It's supposed to be the 883. It's supposed to be $10,000. Time will tell. When my local dealer gets one on the floor, you guys will see it from my channel. That's for sure. Because I'm going to go down there, and if I don't throw a leg over it, I'm at least going to show the bike and maybe talk to some friends of mine at the dealer. Maybe we can talk together and banter on the video about the bike. Hopefully, with the motovlog set up, I can do a test ride and maybe we can get a little bit from the seat, see what it feels like, right? But as I say in every video, guys, greasy side down, ride often, all the time. See you on the next one.